Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming out on this gorgeous day. I'm Streets Commissioner Carlton Williams. We're extremely excited to officially kick off the 2019 paving city season with the launch of a few firsts for the City of Philadelphia Streets Department. To provide greater access to information, the Streets Department is eager to present for the first time a comprehensive streets paving program guide with a list of scheduled streets to be repaved from 2019. The guide also features a lot of to-dos and to-don'ts, questions answered, what people should expect when their block is being paved. And I want to thank my entire staff in the Streets Department for helping out, putting this together. They did a wonderful job, worked very hard for putting this out, and the residents will be pleased. You can also access this guide on PhiladelphiaStreets.com's website. I also would like to acknowledge a couple of our staff members who worked tirelessly not only on this manual but throughout the entire paving program. Steve Lorenz, our Chief Highways Engineer, also Michelle Brisbaum, Nancy Sin, Mark Washington, and all those who play a role in our entire paving process. Also, for the first time in history, is a new map paving tool tracker, which allows residents to go online to look at the history and the status of our paving program, and also view the progress of where we are in each part of the cities. This map tool that we have in terms of our paving is called Pave PHL. What your residents will be able to do is be able to click on the segment and see at which stage we are in the process, and also in what part of the city that we're working in as well. The Streets Department provides many core services, and residents and businesses to visit and encounter the city daily, and the new paving program booklet and paving tracker allows us to help keep the public informed of the status of those services. I'd also like to thank Isaac and Mike Matella, who's here, who helped put the paving tool together. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Again, we think this is going to be certainly a beneficial tool for the public and everyone to understand where we are in the entire process. We will expound upon the details of both the guide and the web map after we hear from several of our city leaders who have made it a priority to ensure that residents receive these critical services through the Streets Department. Untimely budget cuts dating back to 2008 left our roadways in a state of disrepair. With frequent equipment shortages and staff attrition, Mayor Jim Kenney understood the issues and announced this tremendous investment in the city's paving operations. It is by far the single largest commitment put forth in a 6-year capital budget, and it puts us on track to expand our services and pave more streets. Let's give a warm round of applause to our mayor, Mayor Jim Kenney, who will speak about the investment.
There's a lot of people around here working a lot harder than me, trust me. You can see them all in the yellow vests. I do love the smell of macadam in the afternoon, don't you? Today we are here to showcase the progress we've made in fixing our streets. I know that repaving and potholes are major concerns for our residents. I hear about it everywhere I go. I usually spend half or a third of my day in the car, and I feel it painfully. To address these concerns, we have made investing in our streets a priority. We are proposing a $200 million investment over 6 years to improve the city's roadway. Investments that have been overdue for a decade. Our investments are already showing returns. They allowed us to add a second paving crew last year, and each year we have paved more miles of streets than the previous year. So far, we have paved 64 miles per streets a year, when back in the last administration there were about 25 to 30, so we're catching up. And we've also filled more than 30,000 potholes to date. Ultimately, this means safer, smoother travel on our roadways for drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. I'd like to thank the hardworking teams at the Streets Department and Otis, especially Deputy Managing Director Mike Carroll, Chief Highway Engineer Steve Lorenz, and Assistant Chief Highway Engineer Michelle Brisbaum for their work to restore our streets. This team is truly committed to making our streets safe for all our residents and visitors, and I'm confident that we will bring our streets back into a state of good repair. And again, I'd like to thank all the hardworking city employees that you see surrounding us that work hard every day. This city don't run unless they make it run. So thank you very much. Here's Councilwoman Parker.
Okay. Thank you. Let me say good afternoon to each of you. I want to start by commending Mayor Jim Kenney for his leadership and his commitment to investing in the city's infrastructure. I also want to applaud our Managing Director, Brian Abernathy, our Streets Commissioner, Carlton Williams, and all members of their team. They do an outstanding job managing high visibility departments and under some very challenging circumstances. Nevertheless, I also want to thank the city workers, You make sure our trash gets picked up, that our roads get plowed and salted in the winter, and then they get paved in the summer. And that brings us here today. Mr. Mayor, I want you to know that I just concluded a series of budget briefings and town hall meetings throughout the 9th Councilmatic District. And as a part of that, we went through your proposed budget, Mr. Mayor, and highlighted several areas of investment. And one of the things we highlighted was the proposed increase in spending for paving, because as you all know, there is nothing that gets Philadelphians more riled up than potholes. And so when we did that, people were very excited to learn of the city's investment. I'm glad we're here in the 9th Councilmatic District in the neighborhood of West Oak Lane that I grew up in to kick off this paving season. In addition to that, you're directly across the street from the greatest elementary school in the city of Philadelphia, and that's the William Rowan Elementary School that I attended. I want you to know, Streets Commissioner, the next time my constituents stop me in Relish, in the dry cleaners or in the supermarket, and they say, Sherelle, when will my street get paved? Now, for the first time in the history of the city of Philadelphia, I will be able to say I know exactly where you can get that information. So thank you all for being here today.
All right. Thank you, Councilwoman. Thank you, Councilwoman Parker. We always appreciate your support, and we certainly look forward to introducing the new paving booklet along with the number of blocks that we'll be paving this year up in the 9th Councilmatic District. We really appreciate your support. Also here to speak with us today is the Managing Director's Office. Managing a city of this magnitude is no easy feat. Oftentimes, the Managing Director is tasked with coordinating activities and services across departments to provide the greatest efficiencies of our city. Joining us today at the podium is the city's Managing Director, Brian Abernathy.
You know, managing the city becomes a lot easier when we have staff and leadership like we do in the streets department. When the mayor actually said, you know, his direction to us was pretty simple 2 years ago, was fix our streets. That was it. And Carlton, with his team, was able to figure out how to do that, how to do it responsibly, how not just to contract it out, but how to hire paving crews to actually make it the most efficient and fine-tuned operation to get back to the state of good repair. According to national standards, Philadelphia's roadways, to reach state of good repair for Philadelphia roadways, we need to pave about 131 miles annually. Our goal for this fiscal year, ending in June, is 95. We're going to hit that goal. Next year, we're at 101, and by 2023, we'll be at 131. And again, I want to commend the folks that are around us. I know the mayor's already said thank you to our staff. The work that they do day in and day out, when it's hot, when it is not always a pleasant opportunity to get on one of these machines, and yet they're doing it. They're committed to our citizens. They're committed to our residents. And all I can do is say thank you, and it's a pleasure to work with them every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. As Brian stated, we're well on our way to meet our goals this year. Thus far, we've paved 64 miles of roadway across the city, and completed 36 blocks in the northwest section of the city alone. While safety is our department's top priority, communicating and directly with the public is one of our greatest objectives. 3 new tools support our paving efforts and formal methods of communication. These tools provide the opportunity for residents to gain greater access to information pertaining to how we select the streets for paving annually, as well as outline the entire street resurfacing process. The tools help residents understand what is going on and why we may be working on their block one day and returning later a week for a second phase. Additionally, it provides another layer of accountability with the public that we serve. This is the first online platform that falls under the umbrella of the Streets Department Smart Tools available to the public and specifically designed to give them informed information. The online paving tracker we refer to it as PAVE, PHL. It provides users with the opportunity to track the progress on projects on specific blocks, as well as the work when it's occurring. The system also allows users to determine the street's condition prior to repaving, and based on a rating system of 0 to 100, with 0 being a failing score. The tracker is the result of better lines of communication and coordination with the public and provides the utility companies for street paving projects. We launched Permit PHL earlier this year, which provides access to sidewalk and roadway closures across the city. The platform provides access to information on construction projects, special events, roving street closures, and block parties. Users can review this copy on streets permits on this site. Both paid PHL and permit PHL are located at streetsmartphl.phila.gov. StreetSmart's PHL is also home to a future websites providing opportunity for residents to track snow operations and cleaning and daily trash and recycling and bulk collections and leaf collections and other services as well. StreetSmart also provides us with the opportunity to report issues regarding permits or potholes, for example, directly to 311. While the site is in its beta phase, we encourage residents to provide feedback about how they can be used and how we can make improvements. The Streets Department Paving Guide is our first, and is also available online for the use for every resident. Outlined in these guides are steps for repaving and the citywide list of streets scheduled to be paved for street improvements. This list also includes PennDOT routes and FAM routes, and you can connect to the paving guide directly at streetsmart.phila.gov or philadelphiastreets.com. Here to expound more about the paving process is our Deputy Commissioner, Richard Montanez. I want to say Deputy Commissioner Montanez has been working tirelessly not only on streetscape projects, but improving our paving process to get information out and to get our crews out faster. I certainly want to commend Deputy Commissioner Montanez for all of his work, him and his staff, dedicated for his commitment to the work that we're doing here in the city of Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Commissioner Montanez.
Thank you. We're excited to showcase our paving process for several reasons. We have new equipment, we have additional crews. As a result, we are able to pave more streets. Based on a list of criteria including age and condition of the road and the number of defects, the streets are identified for paving. The department maintains a database with the paving history for each block as well as records of inspections on the road conditions. The city's resurfacing or paving season takes place from April through November to accommodate our snow season. Resurfacing operations are conducted in 4 separate steps. Milling, we use a private contractor to mill the street. Manhole and utility resetting, we use the private contractor and coordinate with the utilities to do this. Paving, as you can see the equipment behind us where we apply a new surface to the road. And line striping, which once again is done by city forces, where we apply both the yellow and white lines, including adding bike lanes when that's feasible. The entire process takes on an average between 3 to 5 weeks, requires coordination with various utilities, and depends heavily on the weather. We are excited about the mayor's investment, which represents a key component of the overall comprehensive focus on transportation and providing great streets. Mayor Kenny's proposed fiscal year 2020 operating and capital budgets identify additional fundings for Streets Department to gradually meet this goal by hiring a third crew of more than 30 employees and purchasing additional new equipment. Thank you.
So as we begin to wrap up, I do want to also, before Steve Lorenz, our Chief Highway Engineer, walks us through the process, one of the things I just want to reemphasize is that the city is extremely committed to smoother, safer streets. I know we've been challenged. Last year, compared to the number of potholes that we repaired 67,000 potholes in the city of Philadelphia. And that's higher than it's all have ever been and recorded on record. This year, those numbers are drastically reduced. And I just want to echo what the mayor said and what Councilwoman Parker said and my entire staff says. Our staff, our streets department workers, are some of the best in the city. They work extremely hard and tirelessly in all different types of conditions, and I certainly want to acknowledge them for the work that they've been doing and they continue to do to help our city operate and run smoothly. So again, I want to give a big round of applause for our streets department workers for the hard work they're doing. Steve Lorenz is also going to walk us through the entire paving process, and then we're going to give a brief demonstration on what that process entails. Steve, you want to come up?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Following the press conference, we'll be paving this roadway here. The street has been milled a few weeks ago. All the manholes have been reset. And then the next step in the process, as the Deputy Commissioner said, would be paving the street.
Hi, Hi, my name is Margaret Smith, and I'm with the City of Philadelphia Streets Department. I'm an asphalt maintenance crew chief. We're out here busy repaving your streets. This process usually takes from about 3 to 5 weeks. We, our crews with the City of Philadelphia, work in conjunction with contractors. If you see the no parking signs, that means that you have to move your car. Step 1, milling. Milling is the process of grinding off the top layer of asphalt on the surface of a roadway. Milling requires trucks and specialized machinery to remove the asphalt. On-street parking is prohibited during this process. Contractors will, if needed, tow vehicles to a nearby street. So please do not park on a milled street that is about to be repaved. Step 2, adjustments. After the asphalt is milled off, utility manholes and casting are prepped and or replaced by contractors. These adjustments are normally simple and take only a matter of hours, but complex adjustments can take up to several days to complete. The department works with private utility companies to reduce the number of days this step adds to the process. Step 3, street paving. Street paving provides a new layer of asphalt surface on the street to protect the underlying road structure and improve the quality of the road. Unless delayed by weather, the paving will occur within a few weeks of the milling. Once again, residents are required to move their cars during these work days. Step 4, line striping. The installation of driving lanes, bike lanes, and crosswalks is the final phase. Striping is done over a series of days utilizing city crews. Again, watch for no parking signs as we need the streets clear of cars for this process. Thank you for your patience as we work hard to improve city streets. Once again, if you see any potholes or any street defects, please report to Philly 311. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something.